Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining me today at Juanette's Crafting Corner. In today's video, I thought I would work on my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. It's volume 4, and the whole piece is called Treasure Hunt. Now, our first prompt was monograms. Mine is a J and an H for Juanette Hewitt, and then I also have a J here. The next prompt was favorite fabrics, and I did hexagons in some of these beautiful reds and creams. The third prompt was love, and many people were doing hearts, so I also did 3 different hearts. And the next prompt is vintage embroidery. So I have a couple of options to add to this piece. One was this piece of embroidery that has a J on it. The only thing I didn't like is it's got some blue in there, and I didn't want to introduce blue into it. Then the other thing that I have is this piece, and I'm not quite sure where I got it. It actually is 2 pieces. It's 2 pieces. I think they were part of a pillowcase set. It says, sweet lilies close their leaves at night and open with morning light. And isn't that beautiful? And I'm not quite sure, which part of it would do. It's kind of big, so I thought that's really not going to work. And then I had this other piece. And this, I'm sure, is hand done, but it's absolutely stunning. The reason I'm sure it's hand done is I can see the knots where they started the stitching, and then here you can tell they did some French knots here. So I want to incorporate part of this piece. Now, I thought a couple of things were my thought is, one, do I just extend it and add it to this piece and make it longer? And then I thought, no, I really want to keep it in the confinement of this whole piece. I want the piece to be this small, or this size. So I thought, I'm going to have to cut this up. So I think I'm just going to use this element here, and I'm going to save this beautiful stitching. And look at, they did an absolute gorgeous bit of stitching here with this. I think it's a back stitch. I'm pretty sure it's a back stitch within just some running stitch in the center. But I'm going to cut this piece out. It almost kills me to do it, and I keep thinking, oh. And then I thought, but what else am I going to do with this? What will I do with this? And I could always use this here to outline it. And, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I'm like, oh. So I'm just going to make a little bit of a cut there. And hopefully this will tear the way I want it to. I think it's going to. We as slow stitchers love our raggedy tears. And that's perfect. And then I'm going to bring this to this side and cut it here. So when I was at my sister's in the state of Washington, both of them, Sherry and Carrie, we had the absolute best time. We basically sat around the kitchen table. And, you know, Sherry did her cross-stitching. Carrie did some cross-stitching. My sister-in-law, who was also there, she really didn't bring any stitching with her, so I gave her some fabric and kind of taught her a little bit of slow stitching. Let me show you what I made while I was there. I made this bag, and it's just a slow stitch piece. That's a little bag that I can put some stuff in. This I received from Pam at Pandora's Junk Journals. And I made that little yo-yo using a piece of fabric that my sister had bought. She loves going to estate sales, and she had tons of little circles that I think somebody had already cut out for yo-yos. This is a piece of lace that I brought back from Italy. This piece was from Pam at Pandora's Junk Journals. I believe this piece I got from Rachel from Roxy Creations. This is also part of that one piece I showed you. I had cut it out of this, and I had stitched that there. And so anyway, this is just a small little bag that I made, and it is the inspiration I got from it is from two pieces. One, Rachel, this is one little bag that Rachel gave me when I arrived in Italy for our little retreat. Isn't that cute? Love that. And then this was gifted to me from, I think it was Betsy. Betsy, tell me if it wasn't you, but I think this was from Betsy at Gail Augustinelli's Treat, and it's also a cute little bag. So anyway, squirrel, sidetrack on that one. But those are cute bags. So anyway, that's what we did when I was at my sister's house, is we just did some stitching and visited. I'm going to just snip this up a little bit more. There. And then I'm going to go over. And it was fun. The men kind of hung out in the living room and watched sports. And us gals sat in the kitchen and stitched and gabbed. And oh my gosh, we had the best food. My sister, well, I must admit, we're all pretty good cooks. And but my sister Carrie, whose home is where it was hosted, she's a fantastic cook and a gardener. Oh my gosh, that girl's garden. Well, I call it almost like a little farm. Now see, I can save that for something. I can cut all this out and put a new piece in there and stitch it. So that's what we're going to do. But anyway, Carrie's garden is just like a little farm. That girl had, I don't know what, something like 15 tomato plants. She had Roma tomatoes. She had like a big beef tomato, and they were fantastic. Well, she had a nectarine tree, blueberries, raspberries. She's planted elderberries. She had every kind of vegetable you could imagine. I've never seen so many green beans from one garden. That girl, and she started it all from seed in the wintertime in her garage. That was so amazing. I'm going to trim this down a little bit more. So anyway, we ate so well. We had Italian food one night, and then we had Mexican food, and we had prime rib another night with corn that was grown up there in Washington. We had all kinds of desserts, and oh, it was just so much fun. I have, my daughter asked me, she said, "Are you excited about going to see your siblings?" And I said, "Yes, I am," because they are good people. They're the salt of the earth, and they're just good people. Now, where do I want to put this? I want to maybe put it on an angle, and I think what I'm going to do is blanket stitch it. So, where do I want this? And I would use a red thread. I'm saving this area down here. My sister Sherry is cross-stitching some of my treasures, my kids, and my son-in-law and my grandkids. She cross-stitched their names, and that's going to go there. So, antique embroidery. I think this is going to have to go here. And I think what I'm going to do is blanket stitch it down. See, I don't want it just even. I want it at an angle, but it's got to be able to fit in there. How's that look, you guys? I think that might be okay. So let me organize myself here with pinning this and grabbing my thread, and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so I'm pretty much ready to start stitching. So the thread I've decided to use is Steph Francis Pearl number 8. It's a variegated thread. And if you recall, when I was stitching this lace, I left that there because I thought, well, I want to be able to place something underneath it, and that is perfect. Then I've taken a ruler and my flex-on pin, and I've decided I want to stitch it similar to the original, where they just did a back stitch, it looks like, all the way around it to tack it down. And so I'm going to pin it here. And then I'll be able to lift this lace up here to stitch in there. And then I'll be able to stitch the lace down. And then I will still have plenty of room here for my sister's cross stitch of my family names. So that's the decision I've made. Yay! This treasure hunt is definitely much easier, I'm finding, than the last one, Down the Garden Path, because it seems like the prompts are easier, or maybe I've made it easier. I'm not sure which. So I'm hoping that's pinned down enough. I think I'm going to grab one more pin. Let's see, where are they? I've got these tiny little embroidery pins. I think that'll probably work if I just put this down here first. I just don't want it to move because I don't want to cover up this little piece right there. So let me bring you in. and we are just going to start stitching that. Okay, I think I'm situated. I'm going to start down here in this corner and lift this up. So one thing that I've been doing is I have been watching videos of Cesar Millan. Now, do you guys know who that person is? He's like the dog whisperer, and he's got he had a TV show for the longest time, and he's got a YouTube channel now. So I've been watching YouTube videos because remember, I'm getting a puppy, and I want the puppy to be well trained and not obnoxious. So I've been watching videos on training dogs. So one thing is, and I'm going to insert a couple of pictures. So this first picture was right after they were born. Then this next picture is them a week old, and look at how chubby those little puppies are. Mama's milk is good, but look at how tired she looks. Oh, little sweetheart. And then here they are at 2 weeks old. So the breeder that I'm getting Fiona from every Sunday, she sends me an updated picture of the puppies. And so that's been fun. I will, like I said, insert the pictures in of Fiona. I hope I can do this justice like that other person did. Oh, the nice thing about getting started on this corner right here where it always takes me a little bit to get something going and get the flow of stitching, is it's here where it's underneath that lace, so maybe you won't see it if I goof up. So what else is new? Oh, it's still brutally hot here, you guys. It's still over 110 every day. Even though it's like the 12th of September. But I'm sure it's, on the downslope here. Yesterday, my grandson Judson came over. He likes to earn money. And so, I know I've told you this before, so my orange tree is dropping the oranges that were from last year. And so they're on the ground, and the birds are getting them, and they get rotted, and it causes, ants to come. So he comes over to earn a little couple of dollars, and he picks up those oranges for me. So he came over yesterday, and my other grandson, Gavin, he was with him, but he just kind of hung out. And then I may have told you, I got a new camera set up. I love it. So I did have a camera that was on the right side of me, and it sat on my desk, and then it had an arm that came up and over. So it was always like right there, always in my way. And I had seen a camera that suspends from the ceiling. And what it is it's a plate, a magnetic plate that is screwed into the ceiling. And literally, it's only 2 screws. And then this long pole with the attachment that a camera can, attach to, is suspended. And I already absolutely am in love with it. Because previously, again, I'm pulling my thread to my right. Previously, that camera holder would have been in my way. But now that it's above me, it's so easy. The other thing is, if I'm not using it, I'm going to take off my glasses. Sometimes it's easier for me to work without my glasses when I'm doing something up close, because then I can just hold it up close. Anyway, where was I at? What was I yammering about? Something about the camera. Oh, what the heck? What was that I was saying? Oh, you guys, you're probably yelling at the camera. Juanette, you were talking about whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I love it. I love the new setup. Here's a picture of it. And like I said, if need be, because it's magnetic at that plate, I can just lift it up and remove the entire pole. You can just, when I'm not filming, I just raise it up and it's up and out of my way. When I would film, I would have to bring it over to the desk and get it ready and, adjust this, that, and the other. And now it's just above me. Oh, so what I was going to tell you, I will link it in the description box so you guys can take a look at it. And if you're looking for a new holder for your camera, it's adjustable. I mean, I've got my iPhone. That's what I use to film with. But it will hold an iPad. It would hold, like, I think other cameras too, regular cameras. So it's really nice. I'm enjoying it. So there is a retreat that is put on by French General, which is where some of these fabrics are from. And it's in France next summer. I'm on the waiting list. I could not find anybody to go with me. I could have a spot if I had somebody to share a room with, because they didn't have any single rooms. They only had double rooms. And I had contacted, a few of my friends to see if they wanted to go with me. And, a lot of them are journal makers, and they, really wasn't into the slow stitching. Did I change? I guess. Oh, it's going to be hidden, so it doesn't matter. I think I had this up before and I was going underneath. Oh, who knows? Hewitt. I got to yammer and I forgot what I was. I'm going to put it underneath now. Anyway, I could not find somebody to go with me. It was so disappointing. So I'm on the waiting list, which probably means I'm not going to be able to go. So If any of you guys are slow stitchers and you would like to meet me and go to France, let me know. I'm sure they've already booked whoever was, on next on the list to go. I'm sure they've already taken that spot. However, I'm still planning to go back to Italy next summer and visit you, Rachel. I want to see you guys again. So, but I wanted to also do, France and Italy is so close to each other that I thought, well, I'll just jump over and spend a week in France and then a week in Italy. I wish my sister Sherry would have wanted to go. My family are not travelers. I'm the only one that's, as far as my siblings, I'm the only one that travels internationally and enjoys it. The other ones, they're kind of homebodies, and so she didn't really want to go. I think because they haven't traveled, I think they're afraid. But boy, once you get the bug for traveling, you just love it. I know a couple of my nephews, they are travelers. Kelly just got back from Spain. He's a nephew. That's Sherry's son. And then Carrie's sons, both Greg and Kyle, they have traveled extensively, so I wish my sister would go. Anyway, I'm going to continue sewing this, and then I will come back and show you what it looks like, but I think it's going to be okay. And that will be down there like that. I will stitch that, and we will go from there. I got to put another Caesar Milan video on. So I've almost stitched the whole thing around, and I'm just finishing up these last few stitches. And so remember, as you stitch, you're going to bring your thread in exactly the same spot each time. So I have my thread up toward the top here, up here. I want that to come through. I come back and then over just a little bit. And then again. Now, previously, see, I see that stitch is a little bit too far up. I think part of the reason is before, when I was stitching off camera, I was using my magnifying glass light, and so I was able to see better. But I can kind of push it down so it's more even. We just had a big, nice rainstorm. Usually in Arizona, we have what is called the monsoon season. It's usually, sometimes it starts in July and goes through August, but we just have not had very much rain at all this year. It's been very, very minimal. I'm going to have to untwist that. Let me hold that up. If your thread starts getting all knotted up, then hold it up and let the thread untangle. I only have a few more to go. I want to make sure I'm still focused here. Yeah, so I watched another video, Cesar Millan video. This one was on a dog that, oh gosh, that was very aggressive and actually had killed another of the family's dogs. It was, a tiny little dog, and he bit him, and the little dog died. So it was showing how your emotions, the dog senses your emotions. There was a lot of turmoil in the family, and the dog was just feeding off of their emotions. And so Caesar helped him with that. Yeah, it rained for probably about, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. I think I'm almost done here. Probably one more stitch. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I had the camera too far up. Sorry. Okay. Let's just tie this off. And then I've got my iron heated up over here so I can get rid of that pin. All of that marking. I'm not the happiest with how light that coloring is. I wish I had gone with the darker thread, but I'll put some dark stitching around it elsewhere. I guess actually it's okay now that I'm looking at it. Okay, let me just unplug this iron. What I've done now is I added another row of the variegated red thread around it so that it looks similar to the original piece that it was cut from. And I may even put some stitches through here. But first, what I'm going to do is add a few beads up here in these little places. And I've got these beads here. Let's see, did I put them anywhere else? No, I haven't yet. But they follow the color scheme. And I think I'm going to put the smaller ones in there. So I'm going to pull 3 of them out. And I just have some thread that, those are different sizes, aren't they? Let me look. Yeah, I think there's another different size in there. There's like, make sure they're all the same size. Okay, that's a tiny, tiny one. Are they? Or get your spectacles on there, girl, so I can see what the heck's happening. Okay, I think these 3 are the same, yeah. was kind of hard to see. Anyway, what I've done is I have this thread. It's kind of shiny. I don't even know what kind of thread it is. There was an online auction of a shoebox of threads, and they were all from France. And I mean, it was a lot of thread. And I ordered them, and that was one of the threads in there. Let me just pull you in a little bit. And what I'm going to do is just stitch these down here. And you want to always do at least 2 stitches so that if the thread breaks on one, it stays because you have a second stitch. Now this is the next day, and this is the thing about any kind of craft you do, and I'm sure most of you know this. Sometimes you just need to put it down, walk away, vacillate on it a little bit, come back with fresh eyes and look at it and say, what else could I do to this to make it better? And that's what happened with that second line there. It still looked a little plain to me. And so I thought it needs something more. And so that's also why I'm doing this little bit of beading too. Now I'm going to knot this off, but then I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to come back and do this other one here. Yeah, that's what happened. I came back today and I looked at it and I thought, no, it's a little bit too plain for me. And again, the piece is evolving. We will have another prompt next Wednesday, and so I will be able to add something else to it. Tell me about, if you're doing this, tell me about your color schemes. What colors are you guys using? What are some of your treasures that you're using? I'm very excited to get my cross stitching from my sister Sherry. And add those. That will be pretty. So I'm going to put this other bead on here, and then I will be back with you guys. Okay, my beads are down, and I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, this is a project that will last for 6 months, so it's not complete, but I do like this, and I may be adding more things, but anyway, that's it for this video. Like always, I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks, and bye-bye.